Good evening, one and all. Welcome to the Trust Aoraki South Canterbury Sports Awards 2022. How special is it now that an award that started with an article in the local paper, the Timaru Herald, evolved to a community event that's been celebrated now for the 56th time, and just for the second time, being streamed live all around the world. I am Julian Blanchard, I'm your MC for this evening, and we're coming to you live from Timaru. Let's hear it, eh? All right, and man, I just love watching that montage of all those photos of sport that's been happening over the last year, and thanks to the Timaru Herald and stuff for providing those photos for us to get us underway. And we'll spend time this evening celebrating all that is good about sport in our community and recognising those who have achieved great things and given us all that reason to smile. Of course, this has been another year full of challenges and learning, being strong and adapting, and now looking at ways at how we can evolve and be better, rather than just returning back to simple, normal times. Our one constant, though, is that our local people continue to go that extra mile to make things happen, and we do have athletes on the world stage doing amazing things. This year has been full of challenges, but Sport Canterbury is delighted to bring you the Trust Aoraki South Canterbury Sports Awards for 2022. Welcome to those who are there watching us on the live stream here from the glorious town of Timaru. And we'll begin with our first award of the evening. And can we welcome to the front to assist with the presentation, Sport Canterbury Board Chairperson, Jerry Dwyer. Let's hear it for Jerry. Cool, now our first category this evening, it is the Hyundai South Canterbury Administrator of the Year. And the nominees are Lisa Blackler from Cycling, Vicky Ray from Squash, and Alison Collister from Swimming. Let's hear it for all our nominees. All right, and the winner of the Hyundai South Canterbury Administrator of the Year is Vicky Ray of Squash.
Vicky has been an incredible asset to the South Canterbury squash community this past year, at both club and association level. Her passion and organisation have helped to grow the game and enhance participation at all ages. Without her hard work and dedication, the season would not have run as smoothly as it did. Vicky represented Squash Midlands at a range of forums throughout the year, and her work has helped to provide development opportunities for both players and coaches. Vicky is a great advocate for our sport, who goes above and beyond the call of duty.
Come on, Vicky, come and say a few words.
You never expect to win these things. There's a heap of volunteers in our community that do a heap of work that keeps sport going, and I think it's really hard to pick one person in particular. So to everybody out there that gives to their sport, well done. My sport, the sport that I love, is squash, and I'm really proud of the culture that we've created in our region. I do this because I have amazing people supporting me. So firstly, I thank my husband, because squash in our house is normally preceded by a word starting with F. But he is very patient. My kids too are very supportive of what I do. The wider squash community has a fantastic culture. It's not a takeaway culture, it's an add culture. They are hugely supportive of each other as clubs, and they understand that for the betterment of the sport, we're stronger together. So we've created that culture, and it is actually making squash not only within our district, but all across New Zealand with what's being achieved on the world stage with, Paul Cole's #1 in the world. Joel King sits between 3 and 5 in the world. So we're doing some great stuff, and it is this culture that we've got going in our sport that I'm hugely proud of. But again, the people that stand behind me and support me from all the clubs, there's people in this room tonight that are hugely supportive of what I do. I'm nothing without them, so thank you all very much.
All right, so of course with Administrators of the Year, they just sort of sit in the background, and as Vicky said, they don't like the limelight, but we also want to come to the stage Lisa Blackler from cycling and Alison Collister from swimming to receive their nominee awards. So let's hear it for them, and if they can come forward as well. Let's hear it for all our nominees here, ladies and gentlemen, and you guys can head out this way to get your photo taken as well. There we are, we're underway. All right, South Canterbury celebrates and encourages everybody to be physically active, and our next category is to acknowledge the achievements of a master sportsperson who continues to test themselves to the highest levels that they can. And the winner of the Mackenzie District Council Masters Athlete of the Year, it is from cycling, Amy Hollenby.
Amy is extremely passionate and dedicated to her sport, and the success of her 2021-2022 season is a testament to this. Amy received silver in both the individual time trial and road race at the 2022 Hokitika Road Nationals. A fantastic role model, Amy also gives back to the sport, being the advocate for youth and schools in cycling.
Thank you very much. It has been a tough couple of years for sport, not only cycling but for sport in general, and that probably reflects the amount of people are up here receiving the awards for this category. It's usually us oldies are the first ones to get bumped when it becomes hard with limits of numbers at events. But what I do say is that just because you're over the age of 35 or 40, it doesn't mean that you can't be still competitive. So all you parents out there and all you kids out there that have got parents that are involved in running you around every weekend, how about you get them out there and get them involved in sport and see how hard they are actually to beat, because I think my son's probably tried for a few years and he's only just got there to beat me, so it keeps me motivated. Thank you.
All right, and our next award, it's the RSM Law Official of the Year. And our nominees, and we'll get them to come forward. Please welcome from Athletics, Adrian Bruce. We have from Cricket, Stephanie Drake. From rowing, Christine Moffat. And from swimming, we have Alison Collister. And the winner of the RSM Law Official of the Year for 2022, from Cricket, Stephanie Drake.
Stephanie has been scoring cricket for several years and is valuable to all levels of community cricket, scoring many first-class and List A cricket matches throughout the season, as well as the Hawke Cup matches for South Canterbury. She also scored games as part of the International Women's Cricket World Cup. This year, Stephanie won the South Canterbury Cricket Administrator Official Award. Her skills were also recognised nationally as she was elected onto the New Zealand Cricket Elite Scorers panel for the 2021-2022 season.
Wow, it is just an honour to be nominated, let alone win this thing. So just a big thank you to whoever's helped me on this journey, from Waimea Cricket Club way back in the day, to Mark and the team at South Canterbury Cricket. Thank you everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Stephanie Drake from cricket. All right, congratulations to our first section of winners, and thank you, Jerry, as well, for your assistance. Now we'll get him to take a break, because now we're going to take a moment to induct a 2022 South Canterbury sporting legend. Somebody who will go alongside the famous names of Taylor, Lovelock, Begg, Ryan, and the 1974 Ranfurly Shield rugby team. The legends of South Canterbury sport were introduced by Sport Canterbury in 2017, with the banners of these famous names hanging high on the walls of the Aoraki Park Events Centre. So tonight we will induct a new person to join those. Our 2022 legend grew up in Mawaro, between Cave and Albury, and attended Mona Vale School. She spent the last 3 years of her schooling as a boarder at Timaru Girls High School. And with her family being very, very much involved in the sport from an early age. Upon leaving school, she went to Timaru Girls High School and was a boarder there. And upon leaving school, our legend returned to Mawaro and worked on the family farm. On Saturday mornings, she would ride her horse to the local station, catch the Fairley Flyer, leaving her horse there in the yard, get to Timaru, play the sport, then catch the train back, horse will still be there, and ride the horse home in the dark. In 1945, at the age of 17, she was selected to represent the South Canterbury women's team. She went on to captain that team for several years. And in 1950, our legend applied to join an international wanderers team to take part in a tour in southern Africa, a trip to get there that took 2 weeks. The tournament lasted for 10 weeks, with teams travelling to the games by train covering 8,000 miles. They played 69 matches in that time, and several games were played in Ellis Park and Johannesburg. And in 1952, she attended the National Women's Tournament in Goa. She captained the South Island Minor Associations team against the North Island in the inter-island match. Now, the selectors were there watching that match, where she was then selected for the possibles, probables trial match. She made selection, and that selection came through to her mother via telegram. She was the only minor union player to have been chosen for New Zealand. A newspaper article at the time said that the ability of her can be shown by the performance that she played in an Old Girls versus Pariora game, where the Old Girls won 11-3. And our legend scored all 11 of those goals. She knew she was in the New Zealand team for nearly a year before they departed for England, and she was engaged to be married, but she put her wedding plans on hold to accommodate that selection. And so the time away that she was on tour, she wasn't not married and not being together. And the lead up to heading away, she was known to be part of a shearing gang, sometimes shearing up to 80 sheep a day and then doing her fitness after that. On that tour, the New Zealand team played against 21 other international teams during that tour and winning 16 of those 21 matches. In the game against Colombo, New Zealand led 7-0 at half-time. They scored 9 more goals in the second half, where our legend played just that second half, where she scored 5 of those goals herself. When she returned from that tour, she married Bill, finally, at the All Saints Church in Cave, where members of the South Canterbury rep team gave her a guard of honour. They moved to the North Island, but after 18 months, they moved back south to St Andrews originally, and then securing a draw block in Clandeboy, where they remained for the next 20 years. Over this time, they raised a family of 5 and continued to support hockey themselves and with their extended family. As their children grew, our New Zealand rep established and coached 3 boys' teams in Temuka, piling the team into the family Holden and getting them to the practices or the games. And she continued to play golden oldies for the Temuka Magpies well into the Temuka Maggies well into their 70s, making many more trips around New Zealand or overseas to attend tournaments. She was made a life member of the Temuka Club in 1995. On retiring from her sport and up until her death in her 91st year in 2018, she continued to support her children, her grandchildren, and the wider family in a sport that lives large in the family and the community as we know it today. In an article written after Cass Reid was selected for the New Zealand team, South Canterbury's only other female representative, she was quoted as saying, "If I didn't have hockey, I think I would have been a little shy country mouse." I think some of you have put this together now. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our 6th South Canterbury sporting legend. Let's have a massive round of applause for June Leslie. Now, to accept the award on behalf of the Leslie family is June's daughter, Jeanette Francis. If Jeanette can come forward, please. Let's hear it for Jeanette. Jeanette, man, that's such a great honour to meet you and to induct June into this Hall of Fame. What would she think about this award tonight?
She'd be embarrassed and overwhelmed because she was very much a person to be in the background. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can see that you're like the family trait as well. But she's done so much for hockey in this region and inspiring people, not just when she was playing, but once she retired from that, and then obviously was raising you. But obviously, hockey played a big part in this family.
Yes, very much. I remember as a kid that we would, with her mother, we'd get hockey sticks out and we'd be on the lawn. If there weren't enough hockey sticks, it'd be the broom upside down. And yeah.
And of course, her mother, your grandmother, she was also selected to play for New Zealand, but didn't get onto the tour.
Actually, the English team came to New Zealand in 1914, and my grandmother scored the first international goal ever for a New Zealand Hockey International against England.
Oh my goodness. So obviously hockey's played a big part of that family, and we've heard stories about family hockey games when she was probably in her 70s, but then also the grandchildren, some of them were young, were all involved into it as well.
Yes, certainly, and came to a stage when Mum and her sister Winsome, they'd lost both their brothers, and let's have a family get together as a game. And we had players from 3 years old through to in their 70s playing. You'd have a mini game, a 3-year-old taking a push off or a sideline hit, and then the teenagers, and then us more older ones. And it was great fun, and probably 20-odd people involved with that.
Oh my goodness, I'm sure there's going to be some disputes and stuff that went on in those games as well, so she'll be very competitive. But part of what she was really good on was the following in. I've read about that, is that quite often you'd shoot and try and take a shot and then go, oh, miss, but she was really good at following in.
Yes, I think she scored a lot of goals that way, and I think it came from her grandmother too, because I know when they played England and Canterbury won 3-2, scoring the winning goal, and I followed in just to make sure, was a quote of my grandmother's. So I think that was something that Mum was probably taught early on, was you don't just do your shot, you follow in and make sure the job's done.
So talking about the grandkids, she had a special nickname that the grandkids knew her by. Can you explain a bit of that?
In later years, when the children were staying with my mum, they some of them called her Nan and some called her Nana June and all different things. And they said, well, what should you be calling her? As long as don't call me late for dinner. So anyway, these kids went away, my niece and my son, and came back. Do you mind if we call you Fickle Thump? So from
Fickle
that,
Thump.
Fickle Thump.
Fickle
So
Thump.
these were, 8-10-year-olds or so. So even, my daughter in her 20s was still calling her, oh, Fickle Thump. She'd be giving her a call, and so that name stuck, but yes.
Very good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honour, and we've just got here the very special button for you, for the family as well. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our 6th sporting legend, the one and only. She's inspired generations of hockey players and people all around our region, the one and only June Leslie. So you will see that banner next time that you're at the events centre, joining that illustrious group. So what a worthy inductee to our Legends group. And thank you very much, Jeanette, and well done, June Leslie. Now, can I ask from Alpine Energy, Carolyn Ovenstone, to come forward? She's going to present the next set of awards. Let's hear it for Caroline. And of course, all that Alpine Energy do, I say this most years with Alpine Energy, they just give and give and give, and they do such wonderful things for sport in our region. So our next category, it is the Alpine Energy Coach of the Year. So can we get forward our nominees? Our first one from athletics, Don Garland. Our next nominee from netball, Erin Bates. And our final nominee from rugby, Nigel Walsh. All right, and our winner of the Alpine Energy Coach of the Year for 2022 is Nigel Walsh of rugby.
Nigel has had a remarkable season as head coach of the South Canterbury Heartland team. Nigel coached the team to an incredible unbeaten season, winning the 2021 Meads Cup and being the first ever team to receive a maximum 40 points in one season. Nigel also coached the New Zealand Heartlands 15 team versus New Zealand Barbarians and is the Crusaders under-20 forwards coach. Nigel's passion, dedication and leadership for rugby has truly shone through in the last season. He has developed a family, caring culture leading to an environment of success.
Yeah, well, hell, what a shock. Firstly, thanks Sport Canterbury, South Canterbury, all the sponsors that have put this evening on. It's a pretty special occasion, and as you can see, everybody sort of goes ahead and does a lot of work in behind the scenes. So fantastic. Congratulations to all the nominees as well tonight, to everybody that gets up here. She's a tough old battle out there, and we've got some very good competitors out there, and people and sports people, coaches and right through. So we're bloody lucky as a good region to have so many good people around the place, and want to spend the time. For me to get this award, it's just not me. It's the whole management team. Gardy, Brino, Jeff, our physio, he's probably the busiest man in the whole team, keeping everybody on the park, and Jornsy, our manager at the time. But yeah, we had a very special culture last year, and it's taken 3 years to build that. It hasn't happened overnight. So good things take time, and we always knew that. So to get it and to come through is pretty special, and to go through unbeaten is pretty special for the team. And I'd just say, the last 2 years has been pretty hard with the COVID and everything, and I take my hat off to all the players that really dug deep at the time and really got out there and put the effort in. We couldn't catch up to do trainings, we couldn't catch up to do the fitness, but they took their own initiative and went out and did the hard yards themselves, and in the end that showed in the results that we got last year. So I really take my hat off to the players, the commitment, the dedication that they did. So well done to them as well. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be up here as part of the management group. I suppose to all the wives and partners and my wife, we're a lot of time away from home and training. So, we really want to thank you. It's bloody tough, I suppose, staying at home while we're away on a rugby trip and, enjoying ourselves as a family unit. We had a really special culture within the whole group with the Polynesian boys and the Palangis and all that sort of stuff. So we made sure that we come together as a real tight-knitted group, and it just paid off and showed. So we've got a bigger challenge this year now, and we're looking forward to the challenge ahead of us. And just want to thank everybody for their support through the year. The texts we got, the messages we got during the season is overwhelming. So thanks very much.
Cool, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our Coach of the Year, Nigel Walsh from rugby. All right, our fifth category this evening is the HC Partners Para Athlete of the Year for 2022. So, ladies and gentlemen, can we please put our hands together and celebrate the winner of the award, Jono Nelson.
Jono has had another successful year in paracycling. He competed at the Cycling New Zealand Age Group Road Nationals, where he took home the gold in both the individual time trial and road race, maintaining his #1 national ranking. Jono's many achievements have seen him feature in the television documentary Attitude, which showcased in the last year.
Jono couldn't be here tonight, but I believe we have a video to play from him. So if you want to
Hey
watch that on the
guys,
screen.
sorry I couldn't be there tonight to accept my award. I'm just getting over a dose of COVID. Hey, I'd just like to thank all the people in South Canterbury that have helped me out over the last 12 months. It's very much appreciated. And all my personal sponsors, I'd also like to thank you as well. I hope everyone has had a great night, and congratulations to all the other winners. Thank you.
Great work, Jono, and obviously, still working incredibly hard. So congratulations again. And thank you, Carolyn, for your time and support those awards. And I'll get now Timaru District Council Mayor Nigel Bowen to come forward to present the next award. So let's hear it for our Mayor. Now we're going to recognise those in our communities whose contribution to sport can simply just not be measured. They undertake numerous roles across their codes, for many simply for just the love and desire to make the sporting experience of theirs better. These people really are true champions. This is not that I have favourite awards, but it is one of my favourite awards of the night. It's the recipients of the Timaru District Council Lifetime Achievements Awards. So our first one up from cricket, Anthony Dejoux.
All of Anthony's work is done as a volunteer, even taking Fridays to prepare wickets for play on the weekend. If there is a task in cricket in our community, Anthony has done it. Whether it's preparing grounds, making phone calls to fill teams, organising his club volunteer forces, playing or coaching, Anthony has done it on many occasions. A Hawke Cup coach, he has achieved many awards, including the Timaru District Community Award in 2013 and in 2022 the Outstanding Contribution to Cricket at the New Zealand Cricket Awards. A life member of the Celtic Cricket Club and recipient of the South Canterbury Cricket Personality Award on 4 occasions, Anthony loves cricket and has spent his life helping others to be able to love the game too.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Anthony Dejoux. Unfortunately, Anthony couldn't be here tonight. Our next recipient, let's have a big round of applause from hockey, Robin Clarkson.
Robin started hockey as a youngster in 1973, hanging up his playing boots in 2021 after a lengthy 48-year playing career. Along with playing, Robin has dedicated his time in the last 30 years coaching, umpiring and as an administrator, all in a voluntary capacity. Robin's voluntary capacity has been second to none, and the reason his own club, Temuka, and Hockey South Canterbury has been able to provide the opportunities to so many people for such a long time. Robin is an absolute legend. Sport needs great people to carry it through the decades, and Robin has certainly done that.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Robin Clarkson, man. Wow. Our next Lifetime Achievement Award comes from Netball, Mary Cumming.
Mary has been involved with Netball South Canterbury for 25 years. She has taken on many roles and is a valued umpire, umpire coach and umpire assessor. She has been influential in ensuring Netball South Canterbury has umpires coming through junior program and continuing their development. She has been a part of organising committees for the large South Island Schools Netball Championships and has given many years of service to Opahi College and their tournament teams. In 2020, Mary received the AR War Cup for services to netball.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it again for Mary Cumming from Netball. Mary couldn't be here tonight. Our next Lifetime Achievement Award comes from softball, Kerry Murphy.
Kerry has been involved with softball for more than 35 years, and what she does for the game is tremendous. Her support ensures the continued growth of the game in South Canterbury. Kerry has been a New Zealand team scorer and travelled with the under-19 national team to the 1997 World Cup in Canada. A South Canterbury Softball Life member, you'll still find Kerry undertaking the secretary and treasurer duties, in addition to Friday night scoring. Kerry organises softball tournaments and writes articles in the local paper every week about South Canterbury softball. Kerry is a massive asset to the softball whānau.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it again for Kerry Murphy. And our final Lifetime Achievement Award recipient comes from squash, Barry Gardner.
Barry has been involved with squash as a player and administrator at club, district, national and international levels. He has held voluntary committee membership positions with squash clubs for 54 years. The current patron of Squash Midlands, he has had roles including Squash New Zealand President, Chair of the World Masters Squash Championships, New Zealand Selector, and as a player, the World Masters Champions in categories including the over 50s, 60s and 70s. Barry has done it all for squash, and in 2019 received the New Zealand Order of Merit for services to sport.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Barry Gardner from squash. My goodness, what an amazing list of wonderful people who just continue to give their time and dedication to their sport. Let's put our hands together for these outstanding Lifetime Award recipients. Now, on behalf of these recipients, Sports Canterbury has asked Kerry to just say a few words.
Kia ora koutou. Thank you to Sport South Canterbury for holding such a marvellous event again this year. I thought for a moment that Sean had set me up when he rang me up yesterday and asked me to speak, and only Robin got up and then sat down, and I thought, oh no, they've really set me up to speak on their behalf. But it's wonderful to be here. I would like to thank our respective sporting codes for our nominations, but also for acknowledging our contribution to each of our sport. We're all very passionate about what we do. We don't really think about our time and commitment over the years that we've put into it. What we do think about is the enjoyment that we get from it and that we give to others. We've made some many friends along the way, I'm sure Robin will agree, and we have some wonderful memories to share. It has been our pleasure to share our knowledge, but also to give back and direct and help others work alongside us as we continue to grow sport within South Canterbury. I think it is our honour and also a privilege to be nominated and given the Lifetime Achievement Awards this year. Thank you.
Thank you to all our Lifetime Award recipients. Let's hear it again for what a wonderful achievement that these guys do for their sport. And thank you to Mayor Bowen for your time tonight as well. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, this is time where I get to sit down and take a break. But can we welcome to the stage our 2022 guest speaker? Can we hear it for Sam Bosworth? Tonight, he will be joined on stage by Timaru District Councillor Stu Piddington. So let's hear it for Stu.
Quite bright up here, Sam, isn't it?
It is, it is.
And the lights. Look, I was thinking of a way of introducing Sam that we could all get on board with. Fantastic, he's a gold medalist, but for those into sporting trivial pursuit, Sam, tell everyone where you were born.
I was born all the way from the best place in the country, Timaru. So lived here for 3 months of my life and then quickly escaped.
He's got the 3 months, but it gave me the, I guess, sweep of medals, gold, silver and bronze to Timaru at the Olympics. So thanks for that, Sam. That's pretty cool. Look, I just thought what I'd get Sam to do is, most sports people, you know what they're doing. It's pretty easy. Good start, Sam. Could you just explain what a Cox does, just quickly to people?
Quickly explain. Yeah, it's a question I often get asked. Basically, my role in the boat is to run the race plan, call the race tactics, and obviously motivate the crew. But there's a lot more behind the scenes that I do. You know, I'm pulling 8 personalities or 9 personalities, even 10 with the coach into one, and trying to, I guess, get everyone on the same page at the same time. So, yeah, there's a lot on and off the water that I'm doing to make sure that I'm getting the best out of my crew and we're getting from A to B as quickly as possible.
It's a pretty cool job you did, Sam. Look, just tell us a wee bit. Growing up, you're a bit of an all-rounder. Cricket, hockey, cross-country, running, skiing, and you turned up at Christ College. How did you get into rowing?
Well, basically, it's quite a funny story. I got, bribed basically by my maths teacher at the time and my friends to go down to Kerr's Reach. Small, yappy, kind of fitted the mould. But got on the boat and, from driving boats from a young age, I kind of just picked it up quite naturally. But the cool thing about it is Tony O'Connor, who was my maths teacher at the time and got me to go down to Kerr's Reach, coached me all the way through school and then coached me to an Olympic gold medal. So quite a cool story to be able to, share that with him.
That was fantastic. And what people might not know in rowing, it is tough. And the blue ribboned event at any Māori Cup or National Rowing Championships is the men's 8 or the boys under 18-8. And Sam was part of that. Tell us what that felt like, Sam, because that's what really kick-started your career.
I still remember the day down on Lake Rotunova. It was also, really exciting to be there. We'd gone through the earthquakes. So, kind of similar traits happened from my big success at school, going through those hiccups. So then winning the Māori Cup, I still remember the day that we won. It was the most incredible race, slow start, but we managed to pull it out of the bag. And that is how it kick-started my, I guess, professional career. I made the junior crew that following year, and we won a gold in Bulgaria in 2012. And from there, that's kind of how I got into the under-23 team and then into the Olympic team.
Well, it had been a long time since New Zealand had a successful 8 at the Olympics. I can remember the name of the Cox way back then, Simon Dickey, so I hope people... Yeah, it's pretty cool. The Olympics for the New Zealand rowers was a bit different, though, because you guys had a last chance. They dubbed it the Regatta of Death. Can you tell us a bit about that, Sam? Because your journey to Tokyo was somewhat different from a lot of other sports teams.
Yeah, we definitely jumped through a few hurdles to get to the Olympic Games. Looking back on it, it was probably the best thing that happened to us. But basically in 2019, at the World Champs, my men's 8 failed to qualify by about 0.3 of a second. So, we're talking this much, very small amount. So that meant that we obviously didn't automatically qualify for the Olympics. So we came back, went back to the drawing board and kind of figured out what we have to do. So we sat around in a board meeting led by Hamish Bond and said, look, this is what we need to do to be successful. We can't just rely on, just turning up on the day. We actually need to have some backing behind us. So we end up aiming for the qualification regatta, and then COVID hit, and that delayed us a whole year. So back to the drawing board we went. We got a few crew members from America and a few young guys joined the program, and we just trained away. We ended up leaving in May to go to qualification regatta, winning the qualification regatta, and then coming home and spending 2 weeks in MIQ where the boys just were on the erg every day. Probably some of the most difficult training they've ever done. And then 5 weeks later, back on the plane to Tokyo. But that really taught us, going through that qualification regatta about resilience and about working as a team. And I think if we hadn't gone through that, it might not have been the same story, winning that gold medal. So yeah, it was a really cool experience. It was probably the most high pressure experience I've ever felt. So turning up on the Olympic start line after going through that was almost a bit of a reward, really, that we finally made it there.
Yeah, and we just have a quick question about Hamish Bond. Hamish had been there. We talked earlier, he was a bit of an inspiration in the number 2 seat because you had some really young rowers around you.
Yeah, no, so Hamish, some of you may have met him or seen him on TV. He leads by example, you know. He was the one that sparked this 8 to kind of go again. He brought a lot of knowledge, a lot of expertise, and, you know, day to day, just watching him and guiding, you know, the younger athletes and myself, he really kind of helped us achieve that success. But at the same time, he also taught these young guys how to, you know, be really good leaders. And there was some days on the water where it was just battle for hell. The young guys were beating the old guys up, and that really drove like a high performance environment. Every day we went out there and we're trying to be better and better. So yeah, Hamish sparked that light, and then everyone got on his bandwagon, and I think that's why we were so successful.
Yeah, just on that success, Sam, after the Olympics you were quoted as saying you were pretty confident in the week building up to the final. Can you talk us through that? And halfway through that Olympic final, you're only in 3rd place. What were your thoughts that followed on from the race itself?
Yeah, well, we were confident. You know, going into the regatta, as I talked about that qualification regatta, it was actually an opportunity for us to experience that high pressure that you feel at the Olympics. And we kind of, you know, had that extra opportunity to go out and practice what we needed to practice, and gave us another race against other countries. So I guess going into the Olympics, heat wasn't that great, but we all got off the water and we knew exactly kind of where we had gone wrong, and then we went out and raced our repechage, and we absolutely nailed it. We came off the water and we were all stoked with it, but we knew that we could be that 1% better for our final. So that repechage gave us confidence. We found our perfect rhythm, and if we hadn't had that race, I don't think we would have achieved the gold medal. Fast forward to the final. The funny thing, it wasn't actually our best race, but we still managed to pull it off. You know, we had that slightly slower start, and then we got out in front. And I think coming into the last 500 metres, it was all a bit of a blur, to be honest. I knew we had it, and I think the stroke said to me, he was like, the last 250 metres, you were just trembling. You were just shaking in your seat, because I knew we had it, but it was almost that point of, we can do this, stay calm, stay relaxed, let's not screw it up.
And as with tradition in rowing, you said to me your dream was always to get thrown in the water at the end, which is kind of an odd dream at an Olympics, but it was pretty cool that happened. But you also had a rarity that you got to present your 8 teammates with their medals. Talk us through that.
Yeah, that was a really cool experience. So typically in rowing, you know, you normally have one of the presidents or chief commissioners presenting the medals, but when we got to the Olympics, because of COVID, I was the one presenting the medals, and that was a really special moment. I think firstly, just actually holding the medal, the weight of it was what shocked me. You know, you guys, I think it's been passed around the room tonight, the medal was really heavy, so picking it up, I was like, holy moly, this is, you know, and still the adrenaline of actually winning the race. It was a massive rush kind of in my head, but yeah, it was really cool to be able to present the medals and then obviously be thrown in. It is every coxswain's dream to be thrown into the water after the race, because it means you've done a very good job.
Classic. And we were talking briefly, some athletes get their medals, close their little presentation box and take them home. Yours has got a few dints and marks. What's the story with that, Sam?
What happens on tour stays on tour, I think. But no, it's seen a lot of people, and that's the cool thing about coming to an event like tonight. You know, you can share it around. You know, there is a lot of bite marks in it, but that's just people getting excited, and you know, I don't mind it. I think you know, it is exciting to show people, and normally when it every weekend I get home, Mum's always ringing me, where's the medal? Where is it? Have you lost it? But no, it comes home safely most nights and lives in my sock drawer.
Fantastic, isn't it? You go to that event, it's living in your sock drawer. Brilliant, brilliant. Hey, look, I know what goes on tour stays on tour, but the Olympics were a bit different because of COVID. Can you talk a wee bit about that and possibly touch a wee bit on the plane trip home?
Oh, the Olympics was it was my first Olympics, so I can't compare to the other ones. But the one thing that really stood out to me about the Olympics was the atmosphere, and something that unless you've been there, I don't think you ever understand. You know, you're surrounded in an environment with people at the absolute best of their game. So that was really cool to experience that. And yeah, even before winning the gold medal, I was just like, this is the most incredible thing they'll ever do, and really sparked that kind of like to want to go back again. Post-Olympics, post-race, because of the restrictions, we were just kind of shipped back to a hotel for a few quiet drinks. Very humble night, in bed by 9 o'clock. But yeah, flying home, it was a very fun flight, we'll just say that. A lot of parties, a lot of music. And in bed again by 9 o'clock.
I'm not sure whether 9 o'clock Tokyo time, New Zealand time.
5 o'clock somewhere.
5 o'clock somewhere. Brilliant, Sam, well deserved. Can you talk a wee bit about the future because of COVID and different things? You're not actually in a boat this year?
No, so I'm actually having a bit of time off. I've moved up to Auckland and working for a company out there. Really enjoying that role, and yeah, they don't have enough athletes at the moment to quite put an 8 together, so we've got a World Cup team heading overseas soon with a men's quad and a men's pair. And then hopefully in the next kind of year or so we can build a bit more depth and get another men's 8 going, or another women's 8. That would be really cool to be able to go Cox a women's 8 and try to tick off both.
That'd be a fantastic finish. 2 golds, 1 for each boat for New Zealand. You do still have some rowing goals though. You told me you'd like to get over to England. Yep.
So if I can't get back into the New Zealand program, if it's not there, then England's potentially on the cards to do the Oxford versus Cambridge boat race, but there's a lot of work that has to go into it. I've got to get into the university first. But no, the initial plan is to try go back to the Olympics, and then, it's just keeping the options open at the moment.
Yeah, because it's interesting, isn't it, in your sport? There's a 4 and a pair going, but getting 8 together is quite difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And, we've got very talented athletes in the program, but it takes time. It took our men's 8 7 years to achieve that gold medal. And like in every sport and in life, there's roller coasters, and you just got to get the right personnel and put the right training in to kind of get there. So time will tell. Everyone's really excited to go to another, Olympics, and hopefully it will be a bit different with no COVID restrictions.
Cool. And just to wrap up, Sam, could you give a few words of inspiration? There's a lot of young, talented athletes from Timaru in the room, just to spur them on to greater things.
Yeah. You could go all night about some, quotes and whatnot, but I guess my biggest bit of advice is just never give up. I've been through a bit of a roller coaster in my career, and I think persistence really plays off. Challenge yourself every day, ask lots of questions, particularly from where in my role, you're constantly getting feedback, you're constantly, trying to adapt to the crew, and, being on board with that feedback, taking it on, trying to change, learn from those mistakes that you make, and not seeing it as a failure, but seeing it as a challenge to rise up and be better. But at the same time, enjoy it. The whole reason we do sport is because we love it. And that's what really stuck out to me at the Olympics, was sitting in the start line. I was just there to, we've made it. I obviously want to go win it, but let's just enjoy it. Because when you're enjoying it, you stick to the process, and if you stick to the process, normally the outcome happens.
Thank you very much, Sam, for your time. We now know where the gold medal is if we want one, the top drawer with the socks. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause, please, for Sam, our gold medalist.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
All right, thank you very much, Sam. That was incredibly entertaining. Congratulations on all that you've achieved so far, and I'm sure you're going to go on, and we haven't seen the last of that name, Sam Bosworth. And interesting that, you know, that his job is involving a whole lot of different personalities and bringing them together to be something more. And I think there are a few business owners around some of these tables here who have staff at the moment might just get a few tap on Sam's some of his tricks that he has. I think some of them might already be called cocks already, so you just never know. So there we go. All right, so let's hear it again for our guest speaker tonight, Sam Bosworth. And thank you also to Councillor Piddington for your interviewing skills as well. So well done, Stu. All right, so we've just got 3 awards left this evening. To help with these, can I ask Sport Canterbury board member and one of this evening judges, Mr. Nigel Davenport, to come forward and to assist. Let's hear it for Nigel. You'll be, like me, Nigel, a little bit concerned that Sam managed to escape Timaru. We're trying to get people to Timaru, so... He's still here, yeah. So we just got to find out where that hole in that fence was that he got out of and close it up. All right, so the team of the year, we just asked one representative from each of the teams to come forward, please. So just one representative. Our nominees for the XCM Team of the Year are, first up, the South Canterbury Senior Women's Netball Team. Our next nominee for Team of the Year, the Timaru Rowing Club Women's Intermediate Double Sculls. And our final nominee for Team of the Year, it is the South Canterbury Heartland Rugby Team. And the winner of the XCM Sport Team of the Year, it is the South Canterbury Heartland Rugby Team.
In a condensed Heartland season, the South Canterbury Heartland representative side went through the season unbeaten, scoring the maximum amount of 40 points from 8 round-robin games. The side retained and won all possible silverware on their way to winning the coveted Meads Cup. The team was nominated at the New Zealand Rugby Awards for the Team of the Year category and had 6 players make the New Zealand Heartland 15.
Yeah, just on behalf of the team, I'd like to thank Sport Canterbury, obviously, for putting on such an amazing event. To all the other nominees tonight, well done to you guys for all your achievements and your commitment to your sports. To the other nominees in our category, well done to you guys. Awesome achievements for you guys last year. Congratulations to you guys and all the best for you guys pushing forward again this year. Just on behalf of our boys, the coaches, the management, first of all, just like to congratulate Nigel Walsh, outstanding achievement, and just on what he touched on before about the culture that I think he's created over the last 2 or 3 years. So that's been a huge driving force and success for us, especially last year. And that's probably the key to our success last year. We had a great culture that people wanted to be a part of, and it's been a huge change over the team since I've been involved, and hopefully it'll continue for many years to come. And we've got a big challenge next month, the Ranfurly Shield Challenge against a top union. So, we're primed and ready for that and looking forward to the challenge. So, thank you very much and enjoy your night.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our team of the year, the South Canterbury Heartland Rugby team. So well done. And good luck in that Ranfurly Shield Challenge coming up as well. All right, we're going to celebrate our Aspect Trust High Achieving Young Sportsperson recipients. As explained earlier, there's no winner in this category, but a celebration of our community's young people, their achievements and the wide range of opportunities provided in the community. The young people we are celebrating this evening, we'll get them to come forward into two groups. So this is a very special award because, as we've seen over the years, as many of you have been to many of these events, these young people go on to achieve wonderful things, and they all sort of start here as well. So our first person we will get forward from athletics and netball, please welcome Jessica Vogel.
In the last 12 months, Jessica has been extremely busy balancing competing in athletics, playing netball, and honing her skills as a netball umpire. With athletics, Jessica has travelled to many places around New Zealand, competing in numerous national events. A highlight was representing Canterbury at Club Nationals in Hastings, where she won gold in the under-20 4x100 metre relay team and silver in the under-20 400 metres. Jessica is working towards achieving her zone practical for umpiring. She was chosen to umpire the South Island Secondary School's Year 9 final in Christchurch in July 2021 and is a valued official and volunteer that always does everything with a smile. Her success doesn't end here. She also represented South Canterbury on the netball court as an under-18 representative.
And our next young person recipient from cricket, Isabel Sharp.
Isabel was the top batter in the Canterbury Premier Women's Grade for the 2021-22 season, scoring more than 400 runs in a weather-disrupted season. She has been acknowledged with selection for the New Zealand Under-19 Women's Training Squad, where she was named captain of the Divine 11 for a series of matches played. From here, she received a call-up to the Canterbury Magician side, playing 2 matches where she performed well for a youngster. A real all-rounder, she is still playing hockey at a high level and utilising swimming as a cross-training option.
Our next young person recipient from cycling, Olivia Ewing.
Olivia has gone from strength to strength on the bike. Her results on the track this season include first place in all 7 of her races at the ILT Carnival, as well as a bronze medal at the New Zealand Track Nationals Under-15 Girls Elimination. Olivia also has ability on the road and proved this by winning the Gore to Invercargill 36k feature junior race.
Our next young person recipient, please welcome from netball, Emily Hargraves.
Emily had a very successful 2021, co-captaining the South Canterbury Under-18 netball team, winning the Future Champions category for netball at the Aoraki Secondary School Sports Awards, and being named in the Netball Mainland National Summer League Training Squad. She was awarded a sports scholarship to Lincoln University and has now been named in the Lincoln University A Squad for 2022. Emily's competitive, never-say-die attitude, along with the high standards she sets for herself, has helped her to achieve this well-deserved success.
Our next recipient from netball, Amelia McEwen.
A positive attitude and an amazing work ethic both on and off the court has helped Amelia to have a very successful 2021 season. Amelia was the captain of the Geraldine High School A team, who won the South Canterbury Premier Plate competition in 2021. She was selected for the South Canterbury Under-18 netball team and had an outstanding tournament at Under-18 Nationals in Rotorua. From here, she was selected for the Netball New Zealand Secondary Schools Development Camp.
And our final recipient in this group, from rowing, Elsie Talbot.
Elsie has had a very successful 2021-22 season. She was the winner of the Women's Club Single at the National Championships over a quality field, many of whom had several years more experience than her. She also gained a silver in the under-17 double and bronze in the under-18 single at the Māori Cup, and was subsequently selected to trial for the South Island under-18 rowing team.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big round of applause for this first group of high-achieving young sports people. All right, wow, what a wonderful group. So let's see who we've got in group number 2. And our second group of high achievers are, first up from athletics, George Gurin.
While balancing university study, George has achieved outstanding results in the highly competitive New Zealand middle distance environment. He represented Canterbury at the Athletics New Zealand Track and Field Champs in Hastings, gaining second place in the senior men's 3,000 metre steeplechase, and was a semi-finalist in the senior men's 800 metres with a personal best in this event. From these results, George has been rewarded with a scholarship to the University of Colorado, the leading world university of middle distance running.
Our next high awarding young person is from athletics, Harrison Lang.
Despite the disruption of COVID cancellations, Harrison has continued to train and prepare himself for competitions to the highest level across multiple disciplines. He had a successful South Island Colgate Games, taking first place in the 400 metres and 800 metres and second in the 1500 and mixed distance relay. He was also awarded the Nick Willis Scholarship for outstanding results over the competition. Harrison is a very focused and driven athlete. He is a leader and role model amongst his training squad, with many of the younger athletes relishing the chance to train with him.
Our next recipient from cycling and fencing, Jonathan Fish.
Jonathan continues to perform well in both fencing and cycling. Over the past 5 years, Jonathan has competed at regional and national fencing competitions with regular podium placings. While competing in all 3 weapons of sabre, épée and foil is unusual, he has been able to master all 3 and was awarded the Diane Swain Master of Arms Trophy for best results over all disciplines. Jonathan continues to impress with both road and track cycling at national level. Jonathan is the Under-20 South Island Road Race champion, and at the National Track Championships had 3 top 5 finishes, including a bronze medal in the 1,000 metre time trial. These results earned Jonathan selection in the National Track Squad for the Junior World Championships.
From cycling, please welcome Noah Hollenby.
Noah is a talented all-round cyclist, performing across road, mountain bike and track. A long list of impressive results across the last 12 months, including a silver medal at both the Cycling New Zealand National Criterium Championships and the Cycling New Zealand Mountain Bike Nationals, were topped by winning the Under-17 General Classification at the National Road Series Tasman Tour 2022. A successful season was topped with Noah gaining selection for the 2022 Fruscio Elab development team.
Also from cycling, Sam Ritchie.
Sam is extremely dedicated to the sport of road cycling, travelling the country to compete, gaining national titles and stage placings in the Tour of Southland. Sam has recently been selected in the Maito Q team, where he will head to the USA in 2022 for 10 weeks of racing. A current road race national champion, he had 3 podium placings in the Tour of Southland 2022.
From cycling, we have Jackson White.
Jackson continues to achieve top-end results on the road and track. He recently travelled to Brisbane to compete in the Oceania Road Champs, where he finished 8th overall, before returning home for the New Zealand Track Nationals, where his performances resulted in selection for the Junior World's track team. Jackson's extremely successful season included winning the 2021 Younker Junior Tour Under-19 General Classification and King of the Mountain. Jackson is now overseas in Belgium for his next round of events.
And our final high-achieving young person from squash. Please welcome Flynn Brooklands.
Flynn is a talented and valuable member of the Timaru Squash Club. His performance in the past year includes top 3 finishes in the New Zealand Junior Open Division 1 and South Island Age Group Championships. Flynn has also begun to give back to his sport and began coaching primary and secondary age players and was awarded the Squash Midlands Foundation Coach of the Year in 2021.
Well, congratulations to this group of amazing young achievers. The future of South Canterbury sport is definitely bright with these group, and one more time, let's acknowledge these wonderful young athletes, all that they've achieved over the last 12 months. Let's hear it for them. Thank you, Nigel. You can also take your seat. They look quite stunned up here, those poor boys, didn't they? Look like they've done something wrong. Far from it. All right, our final and major award of the night. It is the Trust Aoraki South Canterbury Sportsperson of the Year. And to present this award, please welcome from Trust Aoraki, Mr. Murray Roberts. All right, so our nominees for this award. From athletics, Lauren Bruce. Also from athletics, Tom Walsh. From cycling, Shane Archbold. From cycling, Cahill Guiney. From hockey, Sam Lane. From rowing, Emma Dyke. And our final nominee from rugby, William Wright. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for all our nominees for the Trust Aoraki South Canterbury Sportsperson of the Year. Murray, let's have a few words and announce the winner.
Thank you, Julian. Good evening. Thank you, Sean, for the invitation to be here tonight to celebrate excellence and participation with so many of our region's sports people, teams, coaches and administrators. The South Canterbury Sports Award are a culmination of all that individual and team training, coaching sessions, physio benches and mental preparation over the previous 12 months. With all that has prevailed over the last couple of years, your perseverance and resilience is reflected in tonight's celebrations. Trust Aoraki is very pleased to not only be a supporter of the annual South Canterbury Sports Awards, but also very pleased to be able to assist a multitude of sporting groups, community organisations, schools, clubs and associations represented here tonight. During the last financial year, Trust Aoraki is proud to have offered and support in excess of $1.3 million to the many sporting and community groups across our regions of operation. Considering all our venues were again forced into close down during the year and had many other business obstacles placed in their way, our board is very pleased to deliver a result like that. Of course, we are truly grateful to our valued venue owners. We can continue to partner Trust Aoraki to operate our business at their venues. It is therefore great to share this evening with some of those people. Tonight we have Bob Mason, owner of the Old Bank and Pleasant Point Hotel. Bob, and to Guri Singh, owner of the Crown Hotel, Temuka. We also have venue managers Debs Jackson and Tony Singh with us. Like all our venue owners not here tonight, Bob and Guri and their staff are fantastic community-minded contributors who enable Trust Aoraki to allocate funds to the grant applications that you send to us. Just recently, we held a function to recognise the Old Bank Cafe and Bar, generating $10 million in funds since 2006, injected back into the South Canterbury community by way of grants. At the same time, of course, we have also paid approximately $9 million to the government and DIA for taxes and fees that are required of us, including harm minimisation. Next month, we will also be having a similar function at Temuka to recognise the Crown Hotel injecting $2.5 million back into their community since 2008. Again, government and DIA taxes accounted for a similar amount. We sincerely thank you, Bob and Guri, for your loyal support to Trust Aoraki and, more importantly, to your communities. Year after year, our region continues to produce national and international sports people who shine at world events across a wide range of sports. I know we are all very proud of what our homegrown athletes and coaches achieve. Not everyone can reach elite level in their chosen sport. However, we at Trust Aoraki are really pleased to think that we can support a great many sporting organisations to promote their athletes, coaches and administrators to improve, succeed and be the very best they can be. To all those who were nominated for awards across all categories tonight, we say well done on your determination, your dedication and your application to your sport. Your success does not happen by chance. It involves hours and hours of training for you and your coaches. To those of you who have been selected as category winners, our sincere congratulations, and we trust that this is a further step to your next level of performance and achievement. To the overall Trust Aoraki South Canterbury Sports Person of the Year for 2022, your name will forever sit alongside some of the very impressive South Canterbury sports people on the Honours Board who have gone before. We congratulate you wholeheartedly on this significant achievement and wish you well for your future endeavours. So we come to the Trust Aoraki South Canterbury Sports Person of the Year 2022 is Emma Dyke.
Emma's hard work and dedication to her sport continues to shine through. Emma was able to put the postponement of the 2020 Tokyo Olympics to one side and regain selection for the event in 2021. Emma and the crew were able to maintain high levels of performance despite not being able to attend any other international regattas outside of the Olympics. The New Zealand Women's 8 were able to bring home an Olympic silver medal.
Unfortunately, Emma is unable to be here this evening, but we're delighted to have her father here with us this evening to collect Emma's award.
I think we might get Mum up as well, shall we? Yeah, come on, Mum. Now we were very, very lucky to have caught up with Emma earlier today.
Good evening, everyone. What an absolute honour it is to be named South Canterbury Sports Person of the Year for 2022. I would like to acknowledge my fellow category nominees. I can't imagine how tough this decision would have been for the selection panel with 5 other incredible athletes, 3 of which are my fellow Tokyo Olympic teammates. So thank you to the panel for choosing me to take home this title this year. Firstly, I would like to thank Timu Rowing Club and Craig Darcison, especially Dean Milne, as they are my home club and school, and have always showed me so much support throughout my rowing career, so thank you. Secondly, thank you to the team at Trust Aoraki for putting in so much hard work and time into organising what I'm sure is another stellar evening. And finally, thank you to my family, especially Mum and Dad, who are there tonight accepting this award for me. You two have always been my number one supporters, so thank you so much. This is a slightly bittersweet one for me this year, as I officially retired from Rowing New Zealand just last week. So accepting this award one last time means so much to me. It has always been such a privilege to be able to compete on the world stage, not only representing New Zealand as a country, but most importantly representing South Canterbury. Anyway, that's enough for me tonight. Thank you again to everyone, and taking home this award truly means so much to me. So goodbye from me here in London.
Ladies and gentlemen, our Sportsperson of the Year, Emma Dyke. All right, thank you guys, and congratulations on your award, you guys, and great to hear those words there from Emma as well. All right, that wraps up our awards for 2022. You guys have been an absolute amazing audience here, and to those of you watching at home, thank you for tuning in as well, and really, really pleased to have brought these awards to you. So keep safe, stay here and mingling. You've been a great audience, and thank you, South Canterbury, for your support as well. Good night. All right, so just letting you know that dessert can be served out there as well.